rest be upon you, O inheritor of Isa, the Spirit of Allah. Then, I entered and clung to the Zari 65. I loosened the shawl tied to my waist. I tied one end of the shawl to the lock of the Zari, and the other to my neck. Then I started weeping aloud. I said, I swear, by your mother Zara, I will not accept that the line of Mullah Muhammad Jafar should affect us. And his words should not prove right. It should not be so. Attendants, pilgrims and others present in the shrine gathered around me. They were surprised on seeing my condition. They were asking the reason for it, but they were not getting any answer. Some thought that I had gone mad. A religious scholar who stayed in my neighborhood came to me, calling me to join in the funeral rites of my son. Through him people came to know what had befallen me. My religious scholar neighbor started advising me, consoling me, "Oh Mullah, you are an intelligent person. The dead do not become alive. Come on, let us take away the dead body. The mother is about to destroy herself on seeing her child." But I did not agree. So he started reproaching me. Others also joined him. I said, "Please leave me alone. I have no concern with you all. Why are you troubling me unnecessarily?" People began to ridicule me, and then they went out of the shrine to carry away my son's bier. My condition deteriorated from what it was before. Once again, I started wailing loudly, "I swear by your mother Zara, I will not move from your Zari. I will not come out from your shrine, even if I die. Or that Allah should take away my life, or return my son Hassan to me." I had torn the neck of my shirt. I was hitting my head on the Zari, till it was almost noon. Suddenly, a noise was heard from the gallery and courtyard of the shrine. People were seen running here and there. I could not understand what had happened. Then I saw people entering the shrine in the form of a procession. When I looked carefully, I saw my son walking towards me. My neighboring religious scholar was holding his hand. His mother was just behind. People were reciting salawat. Having seen this, I threw myself on the ground. I kissed the stone near the Zari. I prostrated in front of Allah, thanking him. Then I got up and embraced my son. Then I kissed his eyes. I asked people about the happening, and the religious scholar said, "We had taken him for the last rites to the corpse bathhouse outside the city and had just put the first bowl of water on his head. That we found his temple throbbing from both the sides. It seemed as if someone was massaging it. Then there was some movement in the head, and all of a sudden he sneezed once. Then he got up as if he had just awakened from sleep. Then we dressed him and brought him here for the ziyarat of the shrine and to give you the good news of this miracle." Muhaddith Iraqi says, "We have seen this boy Hassan many a times after that. Today on Friday 26th of Jamadil Awal 1300 AH also, by the wish of Allah, he is alive. Although his father, Mullah Abdul Hussain, passed away a long time ago. If it is said that Allah is more kind to and nearer to humans than he is to any of his creatures, so what is the need of anyone's intercession?" Many Quranic verses and traditions are present in reply to such a notion, but we will be content to mention only two verses. In Surah An-Nisa, it is said, "And O Prophet, had they, when they were unjust to themselves, by not obeying come to you, and asked forgiveness of Allah and the Apostle, you had also asked forgiveness for them, they would have found Allah oft returning to mercy, merciful." 66,196. This honorable verse clearly proves that the Holy Prophet is given the authority to intercede. After the demise of the Holy Prophet in Tafsir Minhaj as-Sadiqeen, it is narrated that Amirul Mu'minin Ali A.S. said, "When the Holy Prophet passed away and we buried him, 3 days had passed that a Bedouin came and sat near the head of the grave. Keeping his head on the soil of the grave he was saying, 'O Messenger of Allah, we heard whatever you said, we believed, but whatever you had brought from Allah, for us, the truth is, that we did not act upon it. The Almighty has said in the book you brought for us. And O Prophet, had they, when they were unjust to themselves, by not obeying, come to you, and asked forgiveness of Allah and the Apostle, you had also asked forgiveness for them, they would have found Allah off returning to mercy, merciful." 67. O Messenger of Allah, I have oppressed myself, now I have come to you, so that you may ask forgiveness for me. A voice came from the Prophet's grave. Allah has forgiven you. In another tradition it is said that those present in the mosque also heard that voice and all started weeping. Prophet Yaqub a.s. interceded for his sons. When the conspiracy Yusuf's brothers became evident, they fell at the feet of Prophet Yaqub a.s. They said, "O our father, ask forgiveness in the court of Allah of our faults for us, surely we were sinners." Yaqub said, "I will soon ask for you forgiveness from my Lord, surely he is the forgiving, the merciful." 68. It is written in Tafsir Minhaj as-Sadiqin that Prophet Yaqub a.s. fixed the dawn of Friday as the time to ask forgiveness for them. It is reported that, for more than 20 years, on every Friday dawn Prophet Yaqub a.s. used to command his sons to form a row of congregation and he used to pray and ask forgiveness for them and they used to say, Amen. At last, after 20 years their repentance was accepted. In short, this verse clearly shows that the subject of intercession was present in all the previous divine laws. Hidden wisdoms of intercession. There are many expediencies of intercession. One is that in this way, the position and honor of the venerable people of religion becomes manifest. In this way people follow and accept their spirituality and saintliness and also gain spiritual and intellectual benefits. They have their needs and wishes fulfilled. People also obey them in all their commands based on Allah's commands and prohibitions. There is no doubt that one who has hope in the intercession of the Holy Prophet and his vicegerents would also follow their commands sincerely. Even if sometimes he disobeys their commands, it is surely never because of his carelessness and obstinacy. Rather it would be due to his getting overwhelmed by carnal desires. In the end, such a person will get the divine opportunity to seek forgiveness and pardon. And he will get salvation because of the intercession of these great personalities. Mere repentance is not enough for forgiveness, intercession is also necessary. Cure of the disease of polytheism. When man reaches the age of maturity, on the basis of his experience and perceptions he concludes that for his or others' physical life and development, some special physical means are beneficial. In the same way deliverance from evil and loss in life also needs some special physical means. He sees that different eatables satisfy his hunger. Different types of drinks quench his thirst. Different types of clothes keep him safe from cold and hot climates. As a result of his efforts he earns riches, while laziness and carelessness do not get him comforts and prosperity. With the help of a doctor and medicines he gets relief from pain and diseases. Plants grow with the help of water and sunlight, and the rotation of the earth causes days and nights. Now if man considers these physical means to be permanently and absolutely effectual with regard to those things, it would be polytheism. The remedy of this disease is that he should use his reason. He should think over it. He should see that no physical existing thing is everlasting. But there is some such being ever existent, everlasting and self-existing that looks after all these things in a very organized manner. For instance, he may look at his own self. He may try to understand his initial conditions when he was in the womb, and before that he was a particle in his father's body. By the power and grace of Allah, relation was established between his father and mother, and it so happened that vegetables and beverages etc. which became part of the body of his parents, the same became part of his body also. Almighty Allah gathered a handful of particles and made him a person who is wise, and one who can speak, listen and understand. There surely came over man a period of time when he was a thing not worth mentioning. Surely, we have created man from a small life-germ uniting itself. We mean to try him, so we have made him hearing, seeing. 69. It is somewhat same with all the existing parts of the world. Analysis about them will also show that they have come into existence from nothingness. Hence there certainly is a creator, who brought them into existence and who sustained and nourished them till they reached the present state. Cause and effect. Nothing can come into existence on its own. There is definitely someone who has created it. A creator is a must for every creature. In the same way every creature, after being created and after its coming into existence, has some signs and qualities. These signs and qualities are known as secondary excellences. The basic and initial excellence of everything comes into existence from nothingness. A creator is required for this also. In the same way, for example, the creator has created man who is Hearing and seeing. These senses of hearing and seeing are his secondary excellences. The creator or the cause of these effects is also the one who is the creator of human existence. Effect of the causes. No one can deny the law of cause and effect. If paper burns due to fire, then looking at the burnt paper. And the fire, who will deny the fact that there is connection between fire and the attribute of burning? The cause of burning of the paper is fire, whereas the burnt paper is known as the effect. No one disagrees in this matter. If there is any disagreement between the faithful and materialistic people, it is that whether these causes are having their effect on a permanent basis without any concern with Allah, or in fact Allah himself has given the effect to those causes. The disagreement is whether these causes are the real effectors or whether it is Allah. The faithful say that if Allah wishes, he may give effect to the cause, and if Allah does not wish, he can make the cause ineffective. Fire may become blossoms. If Allah does not permit, medicine would become ineffective. If Allah desires, medicine will have effect. If Allah wishes, fire will burn the paper. Therefore glory be to him in whose hand is the kingdom of all things, and to him you shall be brought back. 70. For further details on this subject refer to the chapters of polytheism and despair and greater sins. Man is helpless in creation affairs, which are related to the intentions of man. That is, if man wants, it can happen, and if he does not want, they don't happen. Man's power is limited to that extent. Now this capability is also given by Allah. Even if he breaks a piece of bread, he expends in it the strength given to him by Allah. If Allah takes away the strength, he will not even be able to move his tongue. He will not be able to even slightly move his finger. Though man produces offspring by the will of Allah, if he is told to create a single insect from nothing, he would not be able to do so. He cannot produce something from nothing, and he is helpless in this regard. And you do not please except that Allah please, the Lord of the worlds. 71. Will of Allah. Therefore it is the responsibility of every Muslim that, whenever he decides or thinks of doing something, he should also keep in mind the wish and will of Allah. He should remember that though he would perform the task, it is Allah who may allow this work to be performed or not. One should say, if Allah wills, insha'Allah. Therefore, insha'Allah, if Allah wills should be said. That is, if Allah wills I would be able to do this or that. The Holy Quran clearly states, and do not say of anything, surely I will do it tomorrow, unless Allah pleases. 72. The moral conclusion is that, without Allah's will, man cannot do anything on his own. With the expectations being broken. In Najul Balagha there is this famous sentence of Amirul Mu'minin A.S. that I recognize Allah because of intentions being broken, knots getting untied and courages being tattered. Broken. And in Gararul Hikam this is followed by, and one who made his intention sincere for Allah, seeing his afflictions were dispelled, I recognized Allah. That is, failure of intentions is also one of the proofs to recognize Allah. Often it so happens that a person intends to do or not to do something, but suddenly he changes his intention. There must surely be some or the other reason for the breaking of that aim and intention. It shows that there is a power, which is more powerful than man's intentions. A proof to recognize Allah is the untying of knots or solution of problems. This only happens when Allah wills. Hardship and difficulty comes only when Allah permits. Difficulties and problems go away only when Allah commands. Dua Faraj and release of Hassan Muthanna. We shall now relate a historical incident as an example. Walid bin Abdul Malik bin Marwan wrote a letter to Salah bin Abdullah al-Murri, the governor of Medina, that Imam Hassan Mu'taba's son, Hassan, be brought out of prison to the Prophet's mosque and he should be lashed 500 times. Salah brought out the noble man from the prison to the mosque and people assembled. Then he went to the pulpit, to read the order of Walid and then act upon it. At that particular time Imam Ali bin Husayn, Zainul Abidin, entered the mosque. He went to Hassan Muthanna and said, O cousin, supplicate Allah with dua faraj. He asked, what supplication is that? The Imam taught him the supplication, which is as follows. There is no God but Allah, who is forbearing and merciful. There is no God but Allah, who is high and great. Glory be to Allah, the Lord of the 7 heavens and the Lord of the 7 earths and the Lord of the great throne. And all praises to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. After teaching this supplication, the Imam went away. Hassan Muthanna began to repeat this supplication, till Salah finished reading the letter. Then he descended the pulpit to execute Walid's order. Suddenly, Salah said, Hassan is innocent in my view, and for the time being we should postpone executing the order. I would first contact the Caliph. Governor Salah wrote a letter to the Caliph, in reply to which Walid wrote, release him from the jail. Hence Salah freed Hassan Muthanna. 73. Beyond the will of Allah. Such incidents are numerous. Rather, we all have seen many times that no matter how much we try, our intentions are not fulfilled, while sometimes a problem is solved easily. Hence it should be understood by conviction that our heart and that of all the people is under the control of Allah. Allah says in Quran, and know that Allah intervenes between man and his heart, and that to him you shall be gathered. 74. If you could only understand. If man gives a deep thought, he will know by conviction that Allah knows each and every aspect of his life. He is connected to Allah with each breath, and even his aims and intentions are connected to him. Man cannot ever do anything on his own, without the help or will of Allah. O men, you are they who stand in need of Allah, and Allah is He who is the self-sufficient, the praised one. 75. One who believes, having faith, knows that Allah has illumined his heart with effulgence. If he does some virtuous act, he receives help and guidance from Allah because of the purification of his soul. This is true for all the divine blessings. Therefore man should not become arrogant and proud. He should not be haughty. Rather he should remain fearful that by not being grateful that grace may be taken away. It should not happen that some detestable attribute or hypocrisy is hidden in it. It should not happen that he performs some sinful or evil act. It should not happen that Allah might leave him on his own, i.e., Allah may not inspire him to do good and refrain from evil. He may take away his opportunity. Tawfiq. It is a must for man to fear Allah and not to be disappointed from his grace as well. He should always show dependence and humility to Allah and know for sure that if he does not leave his attachment with Allah, Allah will never deprive him. Necessary to understand. Hence what is important is that man should feel that he is needful and dependent in the court of Allah in all destined matters as well as the optional acts, which are in his power. He should know that he is indeed a slave of Allah. He belongs to Allah and Allah is his master. Allah cherishes him. Allah does his upbringing and Allah is his sustainer and provider. He is, in all conditions, in the control of Allah and all the goodness rests in the hand of Allah. If a thing is proved true by wisdom, by conscience and by rational argument, and one still doubts about it, then surely the eyes of his heart are blind. He is deprived of the blessing of discernment, reason and Sharia command, and the paramount responsibility of such a person is that he should try to obtain the cure of his disease of doubt. Doubt is a serious disease. It is stated in the Holy Quran. And as for those in whose hearts is a disease, its signs of Allah adds uncleanness to their uncleanness, disease of doubt, and they die while they are unbelievers. 1. While these same signs increase the light of knowledge of God to a sound and healthy conscience and also increase insight and discernment. These verses bestow happiness and delight to such hearts. They further strengthen the capacity of the mind and perception. All know that rain is a blessing and grace of Allah. But the rain that grows red roses in the garden also produces weeds in some places. While explaining above mentioned verse, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq A.S. said, the meaning of rice uncleanness in this verse is doubt. That is, one more doubt is added to their doubt. 2. Nothing but Allah. There is a tradition in Usul al-Kafi, in the chapter of sincerity, that Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq A.S. was asked about the meaning of this noble verse. Except him who comes to Allah with a heart free from evil. 3. The Imam said, a heart free from evil is the one that meets its Lord and that which has nothing in it except him. The Imam also said, and every heart that has polytheism and doubt is going to fall in the ditch of destruction, loss in both the worlds. In Surah Hajj it is stated, and among men is he who serves Allah standing on the verge, so that if good befalls him, he is satisfied therewith, but if a trial afflicts him, he turns back headlong, towards doubt and infidelity. He loses this world as well as the hereafter. That is a manifest loss. 4. There are some Muslims, who do not have sincere faith and firm belief in Allah, the Prophet and the Day of judgment. They are in a state of doubt. They have adopted Islam with the purpose of gaining material benefits of the world, if continue to be rewarded in the form of wealth, security and getting their materialistic wishes fulfilled, they will remain firm on their belief, but if they confront hardship, poverty, disease or some other misery, they give up religion and go towards infidelity. They are caught in humility and captivity in this world also, and they become liable for punishment in the hereafter as well. They incur losses in both the worlds. It is written in Tafsir Minhaj as-Sadiqeen that among people there can be those who stand on the borderline of belief and worship Allah, so that, while worshipping, if they feel that they are in loss, they immediately give up belief. Were they in the midst of belief, their quitting faith would have delayed. He is just like the last man in the army. When the time comes to plunder the booty, he is at the forefront. And when there is risk of defeat, he is the first to run away from the battlefield. It is written in Tafsir Abul Fath that this verse is regarding a group of Bedouin. They came to Medina and accepted Islam just for namesake and declared faith only verbally, but in the heart they neither had faith nor conviction. As long as their wealth went on increasing and there was no occasion of disease and loss, horses went on breeding, wives continued to produce male offspring. They used to say that Muhammad is an auspicious man and his religion is truth. But when the climate of Medina did not suit them and they became sick, their animals started dying, they started saying, "This magician Muhammad we seek Allah's refuge is inauspicious and his religion is baseless. He has given us nothing except loss and misery." It is evident from this noble verse that people having doubt about religion are at a loss in this world as well as in the hereafter. In fact, doubt is an impurity of the heart. It is obligatory on every person to keep his heart clean of this impurity and adorn it with the effulgence of monotheism. Do not doubt. You may become an infidel. Imam Hussein A.S. arrived in Karbala on the second day of Moharram in the year 61 Hijri. Whatever he said addressing the army of Yazid explains the above-mentioned verse. For more details refer to the books of the Karbala tragedy. Amirul Mu'minin Ali A.S. in one of his sermons says, "Do not become prey to wavering suspense. Otherwise your doubt will become strong, and do not get entangled in doubt, otherwise you will become an infidel." Allama Majlisi has said, it means that do not even go near such things that may put you into doubt. Or, maybe it means that you should not become unhappy by what Allah has ordained for you, because such an attitude also becomes the cause of doubt, and wavering and uncertainty are the initial forms of doubt. One who doubts in Allah is an infidel. In the chapter of doubt in Usul al-Kafi there is a tradition that Muhammad bin Muslim says, "I was sitting on the left side of Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq A.S., and Zurara on his right. In the meantime Abu Basir arrived. Abu Basir asked, O Aba Abdillah, what do you say regarding a person who doubts about Allah? Single quote. Imam said, he is an infidel. Single quote. Muhammad bin Muslim says, after that Imam turned towards Zurara and said, if he openly denies, then he certainly becomes an infidel. Single quote. In this tradition Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq A.S. has said that a person who is apparently a Muslim, but in his heart, he has doubt about Allah and the Prophet, and he dies in this same condition, he will be included among the infidels. And in the latter part of the tradition Imam says that, if that person openly refuses to believe in Allah and the Prophet, he would also be apparently considered an infidel. But if one has doubt in his heart but he recites the formula of faith verbally, and does not show his doubt, then he will be counted as a Muslim, though in fact he is an infidel. And one who declares his doubt about Allah and the Prophet, then apparently also he will be considered an infidel. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq A.S. says, one who doubts about Allah and his Prophet is an infidel. 5. Good deeds in the state of doubt are useless. Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq A.S. says, surely the doubt and sin, both will be in the fire of hell. And people connected with doubt and sin would also be there. 6213. He also said, one who was born on inherent nature having belief in oneness of Allah, i.e. monotheism, and his parents are also Muslims, even then if he has doubt about Allah, then he would never return to good. 7. In the same way in the chapter of doubt in Usul al-Kafi, Imam Ja'far as-Sadiq A.S. is reported to have said that, a person who has doubt or suspicion about religion, if he remains on either doubt or suspicion, then Allah will destroy his good action. Imam Muhammad Baqir A.S. has said, any action with doubt and refusal of truth has no benefit at all. 8. In the same chapter Imam Muhammad Baqir A.S. says, the Prophet of Allah used to seek Allah's refuge from 6 things every day: doubt, polytheism, arrogance, anger, cruelty and jealousy. There are numerous verses and traditions on the censure of doubt and on the destruction of those who doubt. Destruction forever. It is an admitted fact that if a person dies in the condition of doubt or suspicion, if according to belief he is not with knowledge and confidence and dies in that condition, then he is doomed forever. There will be no deliverance from punishment for him. As against this, one whose belief is firm, and his faith is on the level of certainty, if he dies in such a situation he would be saved from permanent destruction. No one other than the faithless will remain in hell forever. A believer having bad manners and having unbecoming character, if he also repents and asks for forgiveness and reforms himself, then he too will be saved from hell by the intercession of the noble personalities of religion. At the most he may be punished in the grave barzakh and at other places before hell and become pure. Now only Allah knows how long that punishment in the grave will be. In any case, finally such a person will get deliverance, and without going to hell, he will get a place in paradise along with the believers. This is not reasonable. If asked that, why should those dying faithless be deprived of the bliss of heaven and its unlimited delicacies? Allah is most generous and merciful. There will be no loss harm to Allah even if all the people go to paradise, and there would no decrease in his kingdom. It is also not beyond his power. In the same way, if he sends all to hell, then too there will not be any increase in his authority. The reply is that a person benefits only as much as his measure of wisdom and understanding. If a donkey is dressed in a splendid dress and made to sit on a throne in a palace, given different types of adornments and all sorts of dishes, will this donkey be able to utilize all this in a proper way? Would such arrangement be reasonable? Definitely not. Wisdom demands that everything and every person should be given a place appropriate to his or her status. People of pure, clean, chaste and exquisite souls should be provided with the blessings of paradise. And if the souls are dirty and filthy, their bodies should be of the same kind and their place should be hell. A faithless person does not have the capability in the first place to enjoy and benefit from the blessings of paradise, just like the donkey as described above. Way to paradise. If one walks on the road to paradise, one will reach paradise. As against this, if someone walks on the opposite direction, the road to hell, then how he can reach paradise? If someone sows the seeds of bitter gourd and hopes to reap grapes, would he get grapes? Has Allah deprived the people of hell from paradise, or they have deprived themselves? Man can get only what he desires for and that which he tries to obtain. Someone had no faith in Allah. He did not even make an effort to get nearer to Allah, so that by means of that he may get paradise. When man has not made a firm determination to reach paradise, and did make the effort, how he can reach paradise just by doing nothing at all? And whoever desires the hereafter and strives for it as he ought to strive, and he is a believer. As for these, their striving shall surely be accepted. 9. Therefore, merely wishing to go to paradise without making an appropriate effort to do so is not enough to take one to paradise. Punishment of the hereafter is not revenge. In the hereafter the criminal sinners will get punishment according to their evil deeds, but that punishment is not revenge. Rather it is the effect of causes. Sins committed in the world will be the cause of that punishment. In the same way, good actions performed in the world would result in the person getting rewarded in the form of light splendor and blessings of Allah in the hereafter. Another misunderstanding is that to punish the disbelievers in accordance to their sins is not reasonable because they did not recognize Allah. If they had recognized him, they would not have disobeyed. If a king moves among the common people in plain clothes, and if someone opposes him because he does not know who he is, in that case punishing him would be injustice. That person may say, "Sir, I did not recognize you." Allah is not hidden from any sensible being. The reply is that the excuse of one who does not know Allah and is unaware of Him, is not acceptable. Comparison to a king dressed in plain clothes is incorrect. Allah is not hidden from any sensible person. If a wise man does not recognize Allah, it is because he did wish to recognize Him. If he were deprived of the blessing of wisdom, we would have understood the handicap. However, a wise man does not have any excuse. Any one sensible proof is enough to know Allah. We look around and find that in the stars, skies, heavens, drops of rain, leaves of tree, animals, insects, worms, ants, seas, deserts, in short, whatever is present in the universe are all proofs of His absolute knowledge, wisdom, power and command. Hence there is a being, infinitely knowledgeable and wise, omniscient, mighty, omnipotent, and powerful. Is there doubt about Allah, the maker of the heavens and the earth? 10. A poet says, each and every plant, which grows from the earth, says, He is one without a partner. And the following couplet is also excellent. In the eyes of an intelligent person every leaf from the green leaves of the trees is a notebook on the subject of the knowledge of God. Allah the Great is so evident for the wise that they can have doubt for some other thing but can never doubt in Allah. Then who are these people? Still we see that majority of the people doubt about Allah. Those who have belief and certainty are very few. In the same way there is no chance for doubt on the Day of Judgment in the Quran also. And because the hour is coming, there is no doubt about it, and because Allah shall raise up those who are in the graves. 11. We see that in the world too, most people have doubts about Allah. Those who have certainty and belief seem to be very few. In the same manner there is no room for doubt in the Day of Judgment and Quran. Also, but none except Muslims believe in Quran and people other than Muslims have doubt on the Day of Judgment. The blind cannot see the sun. The reply is that although Allah, Day of Judgment and Quran are all definite truths and realities, those having a sound mind and a prudent nature, do not think it proper to doubt in these things. One having eyes will not tolerate doubts about the sun. But those who doubt these three facts as mentioned above, in fact suffer from a spiritual disease. They have mutilated their basic natural instinct. They are so deeply involved in the blind following of lusts, greed, ambitions and false and futile things, that they have become blind in their inner eyes. That is why they do not see the reality. The blind cannot see the sun. One, who is a prisoner in the dark cell of a prison, does not know whether the sun has risen or not. Thus such people put themselves in a state of doubt, uncertainty, wavering, restlessness and lack of confidence, and truth cannot be blamed for not being prominent. They do not want to recognize the truth. People who doubt, or in fact those who do not want to recognize the truth itself. If they were really seekers of truth, they would have had looked at the creatures of the world and sought a lesson from it. If they had looked at the marvel of the wisdom and amazing power of the Creator of the universe with proper attention, they would never have doubted. A very nice book is there in the hands of those who doubt. Whatever is written therein is also interesting. It is of a very high standard. A very good writer has written